all good things must come to an end, and that means Ty West's horror trilogy concludes with its final installment with the film Maxine. Let's jump into the review of that right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film Maxine, coming to theaters July 5th. So this is written and directed by Ty West, who in the previous films, if you're not familiar with this trilogy here, Pearl and X, brought to you by A24. So Ty West has been making a name for himself because the last two films have been amazing. And so now concluding with Maxine, I think the expectations are high. And I also think that we all are on the edge of our seat about exactly how this story would end. So let me talk about the things that I really enjoyed with this film first off. Number one, I love the 80s aesthetic. So you cannot go wrong with that at all. 80s Hollywood, there's so much story to be told within that era. And the fact that you get to dive into that with in California, in Hollywood, and then that aesthetic with the celebrity behind it, you already know visually this is going to look amazing. And just because of how Ty previous films, how they've been shot, like you know exactly what you're getting on that note, and you can definitely put a check in the win column there. Then Mia Goth, I mean, who doesn't know how talented Mia Goth is at this rate? And now again stepping into the film, and has really just blossomed over the trilogy, is just really showing the world just how fantastic of an actor she is. I mean, if you had never seen any of them, oh well, the first 5 minutes are gonna let you know that she's a star, and we're not talking about her character here. Mia absolutely bodies this role, and again, another W for this film. Now, my absolute favorite part of this film is its new additions, Giancarlo Esposito and Kevin Bacon. They had no business being as good as they were in this film. And now they're both, first of all, Giancarlo, I don't think he has a bad role ever. And if you can find one, please put it in the comments below. I need to see for myself. Giancarlo being an addition here is a complete transformation that is expected. Kevin Bacon, as I have said in another review, has been having a fantastic year. He is so good in this film that honestly, I cared more about his character than I cared about anyone else. I was like, give me more of Kevin. He plays his character John, who is pretty obsessed with getting to Maxine in terms of sending her a message. And this message is not just a casual letter piece, but a little bit of the rolling up the sleeve, you know, there's a killer after you type of stalker mentality message, and he's advocating for that killer. So, you know, Kevin and Giancarlo, Mia, just to name a few, completely carries this film. So the acting would go as far as saying is top tier in this. Next thing I will say is that with the plot, I mean, the plot was okay. I think what I didn't like about the plot is that because as the synopsis says, mysterious killer stalks the starlets of Hollywood. Well, they really revealed the killer pretty early. I think it was pretty obvious, but the reveal was so early that I was like, why even make it a mystery in the first place, you know? So I was kind of underwhelmed with the whole reveal and the whole development of the mysterious killer or stalker aspect of this. I thought they could have did a lot more with it. I felt like as much as they kind of built that up as being like one of the big themes or big elements to this plot, it was definitely underwhelming on the delivery there. Now, the film is brutal. I mean, I almost wanted to give this as my reaction to this film, but like balls get busted in this, and I mean that in a literal way. So by all means, it is completely jaw-dropping. In some of the moments of this film, you may cover your eyes, you know. So just be aware of that. To also kind of further explain what's happening in terms of the plot, Maxine Minx, because that's her adult star name here, and she's an aspiring actress. She's finally about to get her big break. But as I mentioned, she has a killer stalker after her, which is leaving a trail of bodies in pursuit of her. And with that, she's experiencing PTSD from the events of the previous films. And you know that, you know, Maxine has that final girl mentality to her, and she by no means is timid when it comes down to these situations, but she's still struggling because in one point she's trying to leave her past in the past, and she's trying to proceed forward with her future in terms of being a movie actress and really like reclaiming her power. So like, it's such a righteous journey that you definitely get behind her with, but she's gonna have to possibly duck and dodge in order to have that to be fulfilled. And that's, you know, a lot of what's happening in this film. Also, because it does involve the 1980s in Hollywood, it does have a backdrop of the 80s of Hollywood, which definitely involves the Night Stalker element. So if you know about the story of the Night Stalker, that becomes interesting because that becomes like another serial killer that's sort of involved. And now like the policing work is like, well, who is it? Is it this Night Stalker or is it this new other thing? So, you know, yeah, all that in the way how they make it work and intertwine to sort of like retcon history. They do a good job that it's okay. You don't really go back and say, that's wrong history and cringe to it. You know, they got this religious cult little thing in there, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because in the third act there's like a shootout with this religious cult, and it has some of the funniest moments of this entire film. I can't tell you how hard I laughed at somebody being shot and rolling down the hill, and we never see that character ever again. By all means, the funniest thing I've seen all year, because it's so random and it's so my cup of tea when it comes to humor, that if you like just the random, almost like mockery of things, like you will enjoy it. So like the folks who like movies like Naked Gun and Hot Shots and Airplane, like it was like that type of humor it is, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So, you know, listen, yeah, the corniness is in there, but it's by all means a entertaining movie that is gory at times, artsy at some other time, you know. And I think that for this to be the third film, my issue is that, like, I don't think it completely closed the book for me. It had some moments that were good, but I think I just wanted so much more. Like, I wanted a nice firm exclamation point to this trilogy, because the first two have been so good, and this film isn't bad, but I just wanted this one to really seal the deal. I felt like this was like a third to maybe a fourth. Like, maybe there's one more coming. And maybe there may be plans. I don't know, but it felt like they were leaving room for something else. They definitely didn't feel like they were saying this is the end of Maxine's story. But if it is, I'm definitely underwhelmed, because I felt like there should have been a lot more to really send the fans, the audience, whoever, home away satisfied to every degree. And there definitely was a desire for possibly more, and definitely didn't feel like this was the last time we would be seeing Maxine and or Mia Goth playing this character. So I don't know. I didn't love this film. Didn't hate it. Definitely had some good moments. Fantastic acting by the cast. Giancarlo and Kevin come in. Completely kills it. Probably, if I could be honest, probably some of their best performances of all time. Like, really that good. Mia does what she does, and there's so many other folks I could talk about as well too. But you know, just to kind of highlight them because they did a really good job. Oh, you know what? There's one other name I gotta mention. Bobby Cannavale as He's one of the police officers in this. Bobby is completely ridiculous in this film. I think that this character is so full of himself that his level of corniness, his one-liners, his policing tactics are just, I think every time he steps on screen, you're just like, oh boy, what is he going to do or say now? And I wasn't mad at it at all. I actually wouldn't mind, I wouldn't have mind more of that character too. Like, Bobby just did a really good job in keeping you entertained with his BS, shall I say. And like I said, he had some one-liners. I guess his strange way of policing, he's Detective Torres. It just wanted more because you was just like, oh boy, here he goes again with something. So I didn't mind it. I thought it was also a good contrast to other characters, shall I say. I think he worked really well against other characters. But I don't know, Maxine, wish I had gotten a little bit more from this, but nonetheless, I think Ty West definitely deserves a tip of the hat for the three films, Pearl, X, and Maxine. They're all enjoyable. I think this trilogy could possibly be talked amongst some of the great trilogies in all of horror. And I can't wait to see what Ty does next. I really can. I think this was definitely a call to the world to let the world know that he's here to stay, and he got so much more to give. And you know, he's done some really other fantastic things within this genre. Them on Amazon or Prime is definitely must watch. But I can't wait to see what his next on-screen project's going to be. Nothing queued up just yet, so I'll be keeping an eye out to see when news may drop. But yeah, jump in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, your excitement about Maxine, overall about this trilogy. Did you enjoy each and every one of these films? Let me know all that in the comments below. And as always, stick around here for more reviews, content, and so on at Big Gold Belt Media real soon. Thank you for watching, folks.
MaXXXXine.